2.
Let's wait on her. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Manning Up in the Kitchen. I'm your host and also the cook tonight, Brother Amir, Tracey. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for your patience. I'm sure and I hope that the wait is going to be more than worth it. As I mentioned last night, we have a special show. We'll be cooking probably one of the most nutritional meals that can be cooked on the planet Earth. We'll be featuring a staple food, navy bean. So tonight we want to interact a lot more than we have in the past. I'll be asking you all different questions, and you can go Google and research right quick and come back with the answer and put it in the chat. So welcome back to Manning Up in the Kitchen. I'm your host, Brother Amir, Tracey. We're live here in Birmingham, Alabama. Yep, the great 205. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So tonight with the Supreme Navy Bean Soup, we're using, as I mentioned, the small navy bean, not the northern bean, not the southern bean. We're using the small navy bean. This is a container that you can keep your beans in. You can buy them at Walmart. Keep it till you're ready to use them. So tonight we have this. This is called a superfood. I just want you to see it. This navy bean is very powerful, full of protein, natural fats. And I want you all to go out and put in the chat what you looked up and found that's inside this superfood, this navy bean. It is known as a staple food in the Nation of Islam. Can't go nowhere in the nation without somebody asking you about the navy bean soup or the bean pie, which is also made with the navy bean. Also, there's a brother in the nation who has chips that's made with the navy bean also. So we're having the viewers on right now. Please like and share. Love, like, share. We're going to be a little patient tonight because we want as many people to tune in to this special live broadcast. Manning Up in the Kitchen, your host, Brother Amir, Tracey. So I'm going to go over the ingredients with you for the navy bean soup. So we start out, we got three stalks of, we're going to use 2 cups of navy beans. So we start with 2 cups of navy beans. And we're going to have 2 stalks of celery. That's green celery. This is not 2 stalks, but we're just doing this for display purposes. This is celery. And we got some chopped onions, a yellow onion. We use white onion. We'll use 2 chopped medium nice onions. We'll chop them right. And then we'll use 1/3 of a cup of olive oil. And some people, they'll use corn oil. So this is 1/3 of a cup. And I already have what I need to. So I'm going to put my oil in my beans. Uh-oh. And so we also have tomato paste. Put 1/3 of this cup of tomato paste. This is an organic tomato paste to give our soup some color. And This is our tomato paste. Also, we got some minced garlic. And I'll go over the size amounts in a minute. And we have some sage. This is some sage that we use. And we have turmeric. So we're gonna start with 3 stalks of celery. Okay? And then we have we use 1 green pepper, bell pepper. We chop it up as you see it's chopped up. Now I did bring a device that can be used as you prep for your meal, your navy bean soup. It's very inexpensive. You can buy it at Walmart. We do have food processors, as you see over here. But this device here will definitely help you. I would advise you to get some goggles for your onions, because they will burn. So we got 4 medium chopped onions. We got 1/3 of a cup of olive oil. And we have salt and pepper. I want to say this about the salt. You don't want to put the salt in your beans initially, not even halfway through. Maybe 3/4 of the way from being finished, you'll add your salt. Because what salt does, it'll cause your beans to harden. And it'll take even longer to cook. This bean soup takes between 2 and 2.5 hours when you cook it on the stove. You can also cook it in a crock pot. Some people put it in the morning in crock pots. They go to work, when they come back home, navy bean soup, supreme navy bean soup is ready. So I go back over the ingredients again. You got 2 cups of navy beans. You're gonna get 2 cups of your navy beans. Not northern beans, not southern beans. What's in the navy bean is like no other bean. It also helps remove radiation from your body. So we haven't anybody chatting yet? Anybody sending their messages yet? So 1/3 cup of olive oil, 1/2 can of tomato paste, which is about 5 tablespoons. Salt, pepper to taste, 1 teaspoon of sage, and also we have a teaspoon of turmeric. Now what turmeric does with black pepper, the black pepper will help bind the turmeric. Turmeric is an anti-inflammatory, medicinal properties in it, very powerful. Very powerful. And also at the end, we add cayenne pepper. We be very modest with our cayenne pepper. We add this like 20 minutes before our navy bean soup is finished. So I have on the countertop also, we have a Himalaya salt. This is a natural salt. People use sea salt. But I have, what we use is Himalaya salt. And also, we have bay leaves, to our navy bean soup. So I have some already cooking. I'm going to add some bay leaves to that. It's about 2. And I'm going to add a little salt and sage to that, which is already cooking. And that turmeric, it's been cooking for a while. And I have one that we're going to show you in a minute. So I'm still going to hold up a few minutes with our salt. of turmeric, black pepper, cayenne pepper, we'll wait a minute with that. We have our sage. It's been cooking for a while, so I will go on and add the layer of salt. Now I'm gonna move these boilers around a little bit. So what I'll be doing now, just want to say this, as you begin to cook, let me go back a few steps. After you decide you're going to cook your navy bean soup, especially do it the night before, you want to go sift through your navy beans, because sometimes they have stones in them and some of them are defective. So we want to remove them out of our batch. Then we want to soak them overnight. You can put them in the refrigerator overnight with water. Of course, put water in it. And the next day, you'll rinse your beans out and you'll add water. If by chance you don't soak them overnight or for at least 8 hours, then you can do what you call a quick soak method. Well, you'll take your beans, put water in the boiler, and then you'll bring it to a boil, and then you'll just cover your boiler up for about an hour, and from that, you can go on and cook your bean soup. When you start cooking your bean soup, the beans will give out a gas, a white foamy gas. So what you want to do is take a spoon, like the one I have over here. I have it on standby, and I just take this spoon, and I just go in and I kind of bring the foam out. As you do that, and as the navy bean is cooking for a long time, you always want to have a second boiler because the water is going to evaporate. You're going to lose water, and as you're scooping the foam out of the gas, then your water is going to reduce. So what you do, you already have a boiler of water, boiling, keep it boiling on the stove, and then from that you just pour. When your water starts getting lower, you just pour water that's already hot into that, because you don't want to reduce the temperature of your beans as they're cooking too low. That means it'll take a lot longer to cook. I've done a lot of things in advance, so it won't be exactly, I won't go through all the steps. You won't see that. So you want to sort your beans, then you want to rinse your beans, and then soak them. You can do it overnight. And you want your water to be at least 2 inches above your navy bean. So one of the things you always want to do, you don't want to cook your beans on a high temperature. You want to keep them on a medium temperature and skim off the foam on the gas. You'll boil them again for like an hour and a half. And you'll add your vegetables. So what I'm gonna do right now with the other boiler that I'm making pretty much for the show, I'm just gonna add, I'm gonna add some celery. This is celery, I'm gonna add some carrots. Now, I'll be adding some green bell peppers. These are green bell peppers. And also, I'm gonna add some garlic. That's your garlic. Again, I want to make sure I say that the navy bean soup, you don't need a whole lot of seasoning. Too much is not good because this navy bean by itself, maybe with onions, that's all you really need. All these other ingredients are really additives that that'll be very good for your health. So I'm gonna add a few of these onions. I won't add all these onions, but I'll add a few of them. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna add all the onions. I'm gonna add the rest of those onions. Why? Because in this book, How to Eat to Live by Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, eat as much as garlic as you can take and onions. They're very good for our blood, cleaning our blood and circulation. So as much as you can eat, indulge yourself. Okay, I have a question. I have a question, so let me see what the question is. Navy beans help in weight loss and trigger metabolism. It also regulates blood sugar. Oh, that's Miss April Pipkins, the bean soup scientist. Absolutely, it helps with blood pressure and also help regulate the sugar. There are many people that have had diabetes, that have taken on and went by this particular book. This is not any book. This is a very powerful book written back in the 60s. And now, with intermediate fasting, a lot of people are starting to do that. But in this book, How to Eat to Live by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the way we should be eating is like one meal a day. And some people are doing intermediate fasting because they are finding out that that has a better effect on our health. But really, there's nothing better than, to me, has worked for me and many other people, than the one meal a day. The goal is to shut our system down, not eating all day long and all night, because the stomach, it never gets to rest. And one thing, they be making a lot of calls and this, but they're not making any more stomach. So we don't want to wear our stomach. We want to let our stomach rest. So we eat one meal a day, and our fasting like 3 days out of the month. Then that's proven to be very good, very healthy, and also helps reboot our immune system, that it operates from a maximum optimal level. So, How to Eat to Live, the book, and also one thing we want to talk about, we can eat good all we want. That's great, but if we don't have the right thoughts, we are negative, around negative people, it can have an effect on us. It can cause problems with our health also. So we don't just want to eat to live, we want to think to live. We want to think positive thoughts, because thoughts can make us healthy, thoughts can make us sick. So I do have the tomato paste here. I'm just going to add some of that. Just add the rest of that to that. There are any more questions out there? Any more comments? Any questions? So, what I'm about to do in a few minutes. Take a fork. So some ask the question, well, when do you know that the navy bean soup is completely cooked? Well, you can look at your navy bean and sometimes have a little split in it. Sometimes the best way you can test it is just take a fork like I just did, and I just press gently that navy bean. It's about one of them, and I just pressed it like to the side of the bowl, and it just went all the way in, so it's soft now. Again, I started cooking this batch of navy bean soup about 4:10. I'm right at 4 o'clock. So it's right about 5:45. So we're looking at an hour, almost 45 minutes, 15 minutes. No, we're going on more than an hour, 15 minutes. I guess I can't count. It's going on 6 o'clock. So about an hour, 40, 45 minutes. So now I'm gonna add a little cayenne pepper to the navy bean soup. This is cayenne pepper. It's very good for circulation. And if it's good for circulation, it's good for our heart. That's what our blood pressure. To regulate our blood pressure. And it does a whole lot of other things too. One thing I want to say, again, about the cayenne pepper and some of the other properties like sage and turmeric, it really helps with the bacteria that builds up in our body. It helps attack the bacteria, those free radicals in our body. Once our immune system is boosted to its optimal level, it can fight off anything. But when it's compromised, then whatever is inside of us that sets up disease can overcome us. So these are spices and herbs that we use in the food to help build our immune system up to its optimal level, but also fight any of the free radicals that's in our system. Another thing about cayenne pepper is it kills parasites. And parasites can come through our food. Even plants have parasites. It's not just the meat, but also plants have parasites. So we want to kill the parasites. A study has been done, and I'm not going to be graphic, but I got to tell it because it's something that we found out that people that has diabetes, type 1 and type 2, for those who they did a study on, they noticed that they had a lot of parasites in their fecal matter. Okay, so I have to say that. And but cayenne pepper by itself, if you indulge with it, it can go in and kill those parasites that all of us are subjected to at one time or another. So that's why I said last night, and I've been sharing that what we're sharing is supremely important. It's based on the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, as represented to us today by the Honorable Ms. Farrakhan. I have to say this, I went to Chicago almost a couple of months ago. We were called, the men in the nation, to Chicago for a men's meeting with the Honorable Ms. Farrakhan. Nearly 3,000 men. But what I was blown away about, from the younger men in their 20s all the way to some in their 70s, that they looked so good. Their face and their bounty, I mean, they were just clean. And I was very grateful for that. But I do know that this book is a guide, is proven to be a blessing, whether you're black or white, whether you're young, old, no matter what it is. This is proven to help benefit the human family. And tonight's show is for the human family because he came that we have life and that we may have it more abundantly. So I'm going to take some of the bean soup that we have, and part of it I'm going to puree, and other part I just leave it whole. So this is the bean soup. Ooh, it's hot. Can you see these bean soups, or do I have to hold them up? Hold them up. You see it? This is your whole bean soup, the whole. Now I'm gonna get ready to puree. I didn't put as much liquid in this one because I'm about to puree. A puree. I love my puree. That's a choice, but I do eat it whole. And I may have to get some more liquid, possibly. I do have this weight right here. I'll move this so you can see. And now I'm gonna this puree. Can you see it now? A little bit. I'm just gonna bring this over. Move this. I have my so I'm gonna pour it out so you can see it. So, can you see that okay? Can the camera see that? This is puree. And of course it's very hot. So I'm gonna add some things to my navy bean soup, supreme navy bean soup. It's not a necessity, but my brothers and sisters in the nation, we add some things to this. can add some black olives. I can do something else. Let me. I use the sour cream. Some little sour cream on it. And I'll just take a few of the olives and I'll add those to it. And then I can add some cheese. Man, just a hint, just a bit. Sour cream. If you don't have sour cream, black olives, cheese, you don't need it. The bean within itself is all that you need, maybe with onions. The other things that we're adding, the spices and herbs, they're very good, they're very potent. But the only thing you had was the navy bean, you'll be doing real good health-wise. So I'm gonna stir it up some. This is how it's looking. Let's see. This seed okay? One more time. This is this pureed navy bean soup, and I gotta taste this. I gotta taste it. Very good. Very, very good. Very, 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 very good. I heard somebody say they want some of this. Anybody there in the front? In Facebook land? So, also another thing that we really cook with the navy bean soup is cream of wheat bread, muffins. Very good muffin. I didn't cook it tonight. Some people have cheese, parm, grilled cheese sandwich or something like that with their navy bean soup. But if all that you had was the supreme navy bean soup, you and I will be doing great. So, any questions or any comments that we have out there right now from our viewers? Make sure you share this. Send it out to your friends and families because this is a very low cost, minimum cost staple food. And you can eat it winter, spring, summer, and fall. Okay, so thank you for tuning in tonight. Your host, Brother Amir Tracey Muhammad. It's been another honor and a privilege to come before you. But manning up in the kitchen here in Birmingham, Alabama. Yep, the big 205. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Next week, we'll have a special guest and manning up in the kitchen. We may not be in the kitchen, this one, but we'll be in somebody's kitchen next week. We're manning up in the kitchen. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. Continue to enjoy your family tonight. To God be the glory.